Morning. Yeah, we're off to a bit of a late start this morning. I wake up late, Daddy, but and I do apologize for that. But nevertheless, we are here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Be sure to tag your friends, share the live. It's also live on YouTube as well, so you can find that on my YouTube channel, Real Right. And of course, you just search for Let's Get Real. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. All right? Might sound and look a little groggy because I just wake up. This is my man in face. Oh, me Jesus. But anyway, the show must go on. Yesterday, some people were saying that they didn't know they could have called. Once you see the number flash up on the bottom of your screen there, you could call what you said. Yeah, man, don't be afraid to call. Watch this show here. Ain't about screening the phone calls, you know. Who call. Whether you agree or you disagree, you have a different position. Call. Once you see the number flash up on the bottom of the screen, you could call. You hear what I'm telling you? Yeah, so this is another Let's Get Real. And of course, I'm your host, as the name suggests, EK. Javon Green, boy, yeah, the intro. Everybody talking about this intro here. It's crazy. Yeah, man, you could call at any time. As a matter of fact, let me flash the number, give you now. I hope I find it. I realize certain things are missing. See, there's a number, 760-9694. You can call that on WhatsApp or you can call it direct. Whichever one suits your preference. So if you're overseas and you want to call me WhatsApp, call me there. Then if a brother say, wash me face, a woman, what did you think I do? I wash my face. That's the first thing I do when I get up. Oh, me Jesus. You see how somebody wants some word first thing in the morning? Oh, my God, oh. You not even wish me good morning and ask me how I do, how I sleep. You don't start to throw down your word. But wash face. That's the first thing I do when I get up. I works, you know. Yeah, no, it's too early in the morning to be vexed. Yeah, so, boy, last night I listened to Mark Brantley, right? I think up on his side. I was always been on his side, especially when it comes to Nevis and the Fear Share, because that is his campaign slogan right now. That's the main thrust of his campaign right now in Nevis for federal election. Nevis is Fear Share. It has always been his campaign modus operandi. Fear Share for Nevis. And I think once this election is over and we're going into another election, I would be interested to hear what Mark Brantley's promotion campaign would be all about. But in listening to him last night, I totally agree with him, right? Not on all things, but I just agree with him because, as I said before on another show, if I was the Prime Minister, I would have definitely sent over the $1 billion scheme, right? I would have go look in the SIDF or look in the CBI receipts, see what is in there, and give him. You hear? Me personally would have give to him because, as he said last night, the amount of things that Nevis could have done for itself if they did get a piece of sugar cake there. And I would want to see Nevis develop. I would have wanted to see geothermal come through to light. I would have wanted to see the hospital finish and upgrade and that kind of thing. You know, other things in Nevis need to be done. Definitely, I would have given him the money, without a doubt, because that is my metal. But again, the argument must be a substantive one. If you want to have a piece of the non-tax revenue raised by the federal government, which is the government for St. Kitts and Nevis, can the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis do more for Nevis? I think so. Without a shadow of a doubt, I think so. But then there's this one little thing in the Constitution that gives the NIA autonomy over Nevis. And this is what nobody want to talk about. Yes, it's a hard topic, but you only want to have peace of the conversation because it suits you at this particular time. Yeah, the numbers, they may look so good this morning, but that's okay. Who soon see it now, I'm going to go back and look with it. That's all right. So don't worry about the numbers, people. Everybody going to be all right. Tamisha says, Ike, from talk show to talk show, you're dedicated to see your country in a better place. Good morning. That's the thrust. This is a labor of love. And all of me not get paid yet. Nobody pay me yet. Me know what I wait for. Lord, somebody break me off a piece of sugar cake now. Oh my God. But anyhow, be that as it may, Javon Green says, I still don't understand how he ain't put it in the parliament yet. Well, last night, if you listen to the talk show, right, he was going back to a talk show that was hosted on Van Radio with some guests. One of the guests was an NRP candidate, I think it was, and also Eric Evelyn was on the show as well. And this is why I can't understand why. And NRP need to get the act together, you know. Really and truly, you know. They need to get the act together. The talk show that I was on for 2020 Vision, right? I said to them, because somebody brought up, the clause 110. And I'm like, 110 is irrelevant because 110 does not speak to non-tax revenue, even though the two islands have an issue with the 110, because remember, when Nevis' economy was doing better, they stopped the revenue sharing agreement between the two islands. Vance Amory did that. And these are things that we have to put into perspective. When Nevis' economy was doing better than St. Kitts and Nevis, Vance Amory stopped the revenue sharing agreement. He was of the opinion Nevis is smaller, and yes, we are doing better, but we're not in a revenue sharing with IO. And so who was in St. Kitts and Nevis had to come up with ways to get the economy going, you know. So let me put things into proper perspective. When Nevis is doing better, they don't want to be a part of the revenue sharing agreement. They stop it. So now that St. Kitts is doing better, not even St. Kitts, because the Constitution they mentioned St. Kitts, the Constitution mentioned St. Kitts and Nevis. The Constitution mentioned a Nevis Island. But the Constitution ain't mentioned a St. Kitts Island. So the framers of the Constitution are alive today. Ted Haps now one in Nevis. Tapley Seat now one down here. Kennedy Simmons are one down here. We supposed to be asking these men, why is it you set up the Constitution that way? What was your thinking to get a clearer understanding? But these are big men who only want to get caught up in party politics and ain't want to bring the substantive matter forward. Hear me. The NRP person put forward the clause 110. And Eric Evelyn shut down that one time, forthwith. Boom. How are you going to bring up 110? And then you go on to section 112 about taking the government to court. You could take the government to court for the tax revenue. So what happened? St. Kitts, when Vance Amory stopped the revenue sharing because Nevis' economy was doing better than St. Kitts and he didn't want to send down the sugar cake, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister should have taken the island administration to court for breaching the revenue sharing agreement. But they didn't do that. You understand? They did not do that. And this is the problem that I have with Mark Brantley's argument. This notion and this rant that he went on about how great Nevis people are. Yeah, Nevis people great. This ain't about who better than who. This is about how the Constitution is But I really want to swear, but it's early in the morning. He mocking us up. And instead we go to work to fix it by having broad conversations across the entire federation, because he made mention of it as well. He went to section 39, I think it is. Lord, let me find it. Section 39 of the Constitution, I think it is. If it's not 39, it's 36. About how you could amend the Constitution. He finally come to the point that I've been trying to make for the longest while. He said clearly, between 2015 and 2020, they did not have the numbers. The opposition would have had to vote on it in the House because they need a 2/3 majority in Parliament, right? To include non-tax revenue into 110. And Mark, you didn't have to go that road, but including it in 110. You could have introduced a new bill to govern how the revenue sharing is done between the CBI. And if you include non-tax revenue, you're going to have to include water. You're going to have to include other things, other businesses that the government might come up with. You're going to have to include all of them. So in order to get rid of this confusion, you should have done the work. If you really was fighting for Nevis, initiate it. See where the rest of the country, if the rest of the country agrees with you. Remember when I bring the secession reform, it failed, because only Iowa was pushing for this garbage. You were so right when you say it's the politicians that don't muck up and mess up a lot of things. Yes. Because it's like, you don't hear the will of the entire country. You only hear your own personal will. So when you bring this secession reform, it failed because the entire 2/3 of the country ain't agree with you. It's all your own personal agenda. And the analogy that you came up with last night about the cow, that helps your case from one point. But if the defense attorney gets up and start to ask questions of the two brothers own a cow, because this is the analogy that Mark Brantley used. Two brothers own a cow, but one gets up every morning to go milk the cow and sell the milk. And he comes back with the money, and the other brother, who in his bed, or whoever doing something else, says to him, I want a share of the money where you get for the milk from the cow that belongs to two of us. If the brother who went and milked the cow and then sell the milk come back in good faith and say, well, okay, I'm going to give you some of the money because the cow belongs to two of us. But if the brother ain't got a good conscience, he's standing on principle, yes, the cow belongs to both of us. We have shares in it. But I am the one getting up to feed the cow. I am the one getting up to take the cow to pasture. You understand? I am taking the cow to pasture. I'm feeding the cow. May carry the cow vet. May get up every morning to milk the cow. Look after the calf for the cow. Me wanna do the work. And just because you got shares in it, you want some of the money. Just because you got shares. You're entitled to it. Yes, it's yours. But the work needed to get the milk, you ain't sharing it. When I got to go look hair, when I got to spend money to buy hair, to feed the cow, you not put in the money. And me money I do it. So again, Mark, I agree with you. I'm with you. I want to see Nevis rise. But if you include everything in the argument, brother, something missing inside here. Hear me, and hear me well again. I would give Nevis the $1 billion. Well, they could say I got him, that's the damn business. Me don't really care. Me back Brad. And people who can add, you see, that's why I started out, me show the way I did yesterday, you know. Because people who have nothing to add to the conversation always come with some petty bullshit. But either you grudge or you got something against them, you avoid your woman and all them kind of dumb shit. Well, them people ain't gonna distract me from the substantive matter. Or you came to us in 2013, 14, 15, said that unity is the way to go. The idea that you guys put forward, it sounded good, but because we so know all your politicians, some of us didn't believe it, and we were just waiting around for it to crumble. And it did. It fell apart. Or you claim that Timothy Harris is a bad man. He's a vagabond. When he came out of labor after 18 years and said to the country and said to all you, me no bad like Douglas, you know. He wanting in that do all the badness. It look like we got a telephone call, so let me see what's going on here. Hello, good morning. Blessed morning.
Yeah, morning. I like how you start off the show and whatnot, and I like how the show going and whatnot. But what you're really saying, let me just start frank and as the show said, let's be real.
Yeah, be real.
The politicians them over me is lazy. Okay. Let me just call it how it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're just damn lazy. Because what all in Antarctica, then they cross the shark infested waters, they come over sink it. They get the new salary and they get the new powers and the perks and whatnot. And then they said, hey, they ain't changing them to mess up this, you know. This is going good for long, let me just continue with it. He could for 7 years, he could have done change that, he could have introduced a bill, he could have do as you said. If he introduce a bill and somebody in that position vote against it, tell me what the public gonna do to the person in that position. Okay? Everybody ain't gonna be against the person in that position. As they say.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to stop the progress and Nevis and whatnot. Because everybody gonna say that's a good thing.
Of course.
We're trying to amend the constitution and whatnot and introducing something to try make this revenue sharing thing. We're trying to put it on the books and whatnot instead of behind closed doors. They're showing some letters and documents that nobody know. Mm-hmm. And nobody know how much this thing is going and whatnot. Put it in Parliament.
Indeed.
Let everybody know and everybody see. And that's the thing, you know. Everybody keeps saying about they getting the patient and the patient whatnot. Is you the one who highlight that the first, you know? But it's done tax revenue thing, you know. I didn't know that at all, you know. Honestly, you know. And I said, well, that means that they ain't gonna go to really ask for nothing true. And the analogy you just use on the code, you're 100% right, you know.
But he bring it up.
You're the one who. The analogy when you use the code is 100% correct. If you're the one who gets up and do everything and I milk the cow and I sell it, and he just threw my cock up his foot, and I wait for you to come over with money and say, give me this amount and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a good heart, you're gonna do it.
Of course.
But then, if you go through all the stress and you're lazy, he just throw my cock up his foot all the time and just a way to money. You know, do it after a while. You say, no man, this thing now work out.
Ain't working out.
Get up and milk it yourself and sell your own milk. But he not do what he's supposed to do, you know. At the end of the day, you know. But nobody can call him out on it because by the time you call out a politician, now the whole life story is going to drag on the road now. If you want somebody, you reach out on the road. Well. What does I get? Continue the thing, man. When I cut the line, man, I want you to come back here and
give thanks, my lad. So, you see, people understand this, and nowhere is anybody saying that Nevis should not get their fair share. But if you're going to do something, do it the right way. We did not need a 2/3 majority to introduce FATCA. That has something to do with banking, because everybody else around the region was introducing it into their constitution. So you not got to go about the constitutional amendment. Introduce a brand new bill. You could either call it non-tax revenue sharing, or you could call it the CBI. Whatever fancy name these boy people want to put to it. The CBI something, waiver. You introduce that. You have 9 members in the House, which is more than 2/3. You didn't have it in 2015. But we then would have either bang up our opposition and then see where they stand, and then we wash out their ass when they come out, they come ask our vote. Because if you standing in the way of progress of a good agreement between both islands, well, then we're going to pay you back at the polls. Be you Labour, Palmer, whoever, anybody who go against it. But put it out there, have meaningful debate about it, and let the people decide if they want to move forward. But you hear what he said last night? Last night he said, so easy. So you want the easy way out. You want the easy way out. Whenever something comes around that suits all you, or you go in the House of Parliament, go introduce it, amendment, first and second reading and all these kind of things. But when the work is too hard, or you want to use people emotion against them. Hello, good morning. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Ike.
Good morning. What's on your mind?
Ike, I have a big concern, and you brought up some real good points. I am disagreeing with you in some, but I'm in agreement with you.
Tell me where you disagree.
Let's put it. Let's start. I'm going to tell you, but let help me to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mark is in government for how many years now?
Which one? NIA or federal?
Federal.
7.
How much years is he in NIA?
Boy.
Okay, let's not count the numbers. It's a few years.
Roughly a few years, yes.
Roughly about 16, 17 years.
2 terms. More than 2 terms.
About only.
Yes, more than 2 terms.
What have he done for the people of Nevis? In both federal and local.
The Mondo track, he called out a bunch of countries last night.
Are they completed? And hold on. Are they completed? Any of the projects he called out, are any of them completed and not over budget? We're not running over budget, We're going, even if it's, let's say, over budget. Have any of them completed?
Mm-hmm.
We're being real because we want to be real with him. And we are asking him, what have you bring to the people of Nevis? Locally and federally. With the little that he has, if you can't manage little, how will God's holy name can you imagine plenty? I am in agreement for Nevis to get its fair share. Don't get me wrong. What is the fair share? Have you found out how much ticket he have in? $10, $20? Have you brought it to Parliament or to the Cabinet? Not writing the Prime Minister the private letter. Have you come back to the people of Nevis in that 7 years and tell them the Prime Minister is not giving us what belongs to us? It's election time now, and it's speed and endeavor for him to come and talk because he's looking good. We're not having it. We're not having it at all. It cannot work. Because when he was getting his 2 salaries, you wasn't hearing his mouth. He was quiet. It is bothering me every time this man opens his mouth. He needs to go see a psychiatrist or somebody because he's literally going crazy. Because he don't even want to take responsibility for the mess he has Nevis. He's now throwing the blame on somebody else and on NRP. Yes, NRP have the portion to play. Let's get it real. They have the part to play. But how much can they put in it? Let's take, because they don't have nothing in it. They don't have nothing in it. They can't bring nothing. Because everything they come to Parliament with in the Nevis NIA He laugh at them like a laughing stock. So we are being real. So please tell Mark Brantley, wake up. Wake up. You people of Nevis send you to represent them. You tell them, give me all three. And we took all three down there. My God, what next? Good morning, Ike. I'll call you back later. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your call. All right, so I was getting to something. So he said last night that he knows in the Constitution how to either amend it or change it if we want to change it. And he said that 110 is so enshrined that you're going to need a referendum. You're going to need 2/3 of the Nevis population to agree with you, and you're going to need 2/3 of the St. Kitts population to agree with you. And then the Parliament on the second or the third reading will have to agree 2/3 in order to have the Constitution changed. That's constitutional reform. Well, isn't that what we've been talking about for the longest while? Isn't that what is hampering a lot of the progress and the movement and the rah between St. Kitts and Nevis? Is how the Constitution set up. The Constitution gives the NIA autonomy over Nevis. St. Kitts not got its own government. St. Kitts as an island is not mentioned in the Constitution as a separate entity to the Federation. Nevis got their own thing to chart their own course. Well, how come Van Sammy wasn't thinking like that when Nevis economy was doing better than us? When Nevis was doing better than us and they had to put more into the revenue sharing, Van Sammy, stop it. Everybody knows this. So to go back to this old-time foolish fairy tale about Bracha say bone in soup and pepper in ways and all them kind of damn stupidness there. Till today in 2020? I tell these men I want to agree with them. But the way in which they're going about it is very divisive. And he run down all the great people who come out of Nevis. Well, who said they hate Nevis? All no, nobody said they hate Nevis. But the politician, them are smart, man. All of them, they're getting advice from smart people. And that is why we have this confusion today. That is why we have this confusion today. Moila back show you in one certain term what the smart people them that advise them to do. I'm going to repeat it again so that nobody could go and say, Ike against Nevis. If I was the Prime Minister, I would have sent over the $1 billion give back. Easily. Because that's my metal. But if you are guided by a constitution, you have to look to the Constitution. And if the Constitution ain't make provisions for what you want to do, you go about the process in amending it nationwide and see if the people agree with you. And just like how you come down here to campaign with Sean, just like how you come down here to campaign with Sean to get into government, you could come down here with Sean, or you could come down here by yourself and make sure that the people of St. Kitts fully well understands the position of Nevis's fair share and see if you can encourage 2/3 of them. Just like how you encourage 2/3 of them to vote for unity, you could encourage 2/3 of them to vote for Nevis fair share. In a hard mark, it just needs some damn work. It's not hard mark. You just need some damn work. That is all that you need. Or you went in and now you amend the traffic law. And I keep coming back to it. Or you come back to amend or introduce whatever it is how you did with the traffic law. And all I was in there talking about tint. So illustrious tint. Let's charge our citizens $3,000, $5,000 if their tint is 10 inches below their windscreen. Let's charge them. That wasn't hard. Who in St. Kitts and Nevis asked you do that there? Who in St. Kitts and Nevis asked you to give them that day? But something all is important as fair share for Nevis. We ain't seen a kind of legal movement on it. You just want it to be a matter of principle. But the Constitution doesn't allow for principle and morality and all these things. The Constitution is that it is. Your lawyer, you knows this. NRP dropped the ball when they tried to introduce 110. Well, let's just go to 110 then. And if 110 ain't work with, then let me carry the government courts. The argument they can't stand on legs. Because 110 ain't speak to non-tax revenue. We're talking about a new thing. But you see, the CBI got in a chunk of money. So you can't even talk about non-tax revenue. Exclude non-tax revenue. Because this ain't about non-tax revenue. This is about the CBI. So introduce legislation to govern the sharing between both islands. Or forget the NIA, dismiss it, and run for Prime Minister Mark. So that you could take the bulk of the CBI money and develop Nevis and left St. Kitts as an envisioned Prime Minister. Because this is where the conversation is going to go. It's not that hard. Have an open forum. Void of the emotional rants and the playing on Nevis's people emotion that somebody is saying it's not like them, or the politician not like them, and all them kind of foolishness there. See if the rest of the general populace agree with you. Because everybody who calls on whatever talk show I'm hosting, they always say, yes, I would like to see Nevis getting their fair share. But set it up good. That's why you say, you want the country because dug in and run it good. We want to get the hands in the CBI so we could reform it so it could run properly. Now that title are we? And now Timothy no give you. Mind you, you're asked since 2015. For 5 years, you asked Timothy, you send him email, he brush you off, You come back in 2020 during a lockdown. You now saying that you could have looked after your people during the lockdown if Timothy did just give you the CBI money. And you still went on a platform with him and said to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that he's the best thing since Jesus. The best thing since Jesus. You say you didn't want to be a part of Team Unity. You say you tell your colleagues them, do not put Prime Minister Timothy Harris back there again. And the rest of them didn't agree with you. Nevis should have been the first thing on your mind and say, well, okay then, since I don't agree with me, well then, let I and he one farm the government. He got 2 I got 4, the 2 I move forward. Nevis can sit out this and stand the opposition benches. Mark, if you did do that, I would have bite up Timothy soul all now, so. Licks no shit I would have been giving him. And he gonna get he licks them, you know. Because see, he done come out and talk now. And what he talk and he showed the other day, the show was good. A little technical issues. But he do what he needed to do. Just like you're doing on the mark. He's putting his position forward. Whether he lie, indifferent or whatever. It's up to you guys now to sit down and listen to him and come back and tear down his substantive matters. But who doing that? Which one of these parties out here doing that? Dr. Joe I had on yesterday. Dr. Joe come and he spoke to the things that Timothy were talking to in a half an hour's time. And he broke down the points. Okay, Labour, I see where you're going. Let's see if Pam is going to do the same thing. As opposed to going on these incoherent rants in their town halls. I would like to see our country doing better, but these politicians ain't it by. These politicians just ain't it. Me I know. They just ain't it. They're just not it. He says hard work to either amend the Constitution. You ain't got to amend it, introduce a new bill. You could introduce new bills, you know? You could introduce new bills. I'm getting a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Hey, how are you? It took this long for you to give me a call, my lord? Watch out, man.
Man, I'm telling you, it has been a while. It's been a while.
It has.
I listened to you. I listened to you, and I'm so impressed with your broadcast this morning.
I'm trying, my lord.
Because you've taken what you're seeking to do, to take the emotion out of the argument about fair share.
Indeed.
Because what we are facing is an emotional appeal for the old divisive politics of St. Kitts versus Nevis. And it will not work this time because people are more in tune to persons like yourself, the NRP and other pundits out there who are bringing the truth to the people. And I must commend you for your part in doing that. You're not asking people to vote for any one party. You're simply shedding the bright light of scrutiny on the matters at hand. And I applaud you for that.
Give thanks, man.
On Nevis here, the gentleman that campaigned so vociferously in 2020 to send all three to St. Kitts. You wouldn't know, I would have contested Nevis 9 against the Honorable Premier. And friends of the NRP actually approached me to tell me, listen, allow Brantley to go through and get all three seats. That way he can deliver for Nevis what was promised in the fair share document signed in 2014. And, it caught me off guard because that's how serious persons were about bringing the fair share argument to the halls of Parliament on St. Kitts. Because we really thought that having won the election in 2015 and again in 2020, and having campaigned on the tenets of the Charleston Accord, which the Premier himself said he authored, we would have believed that he would have the first stop, the first action to be taken was to go to Parliament and get that informal arrangement formalized through legislation. That never happened. It never happened. For 7 years, he sat on his tail, Eric sat on his tail, and Zook sat on his tail. And now that the marriage is over, we are now hearing that Timothy Harris was not the God that they promoted, but indeed was the devil. And how can people in Nevis really trust this argument now? You had every opportunity, every single opportunity, whether through a simple cabinet submission to your colleagues regarding fair share, or through the more important parliamentary movement to allow codification of the Charleston Accord. They did neither. None. So now that they have been fired and they have more time, they're now calculating what Nevis is owed. And I find it disingenuous because, again, it's not appealing to the academic argument, the legal argument. It's appealing to the visceral, emotional argument that Nevis is owed $1 billion. I mean, I just find it incredible that the office of the Premier could not come to the Nevis people since 2015 and said to Nevis people, we are trying to get this thing organized. I have made a submission. I tabled legislation. And if by this date we are not afforded a discussion in Parliament, we are going to cross this floor and sit in their position. Nothing of that sort. They were simply glad to collect their two salaries, have a great time traveling the world, get the power, all the accolades and the benefits, and left Navajans out on the cold. Now they're coming back with this vitriol, this bad blood, that what they said was the best thing since sliced bread. Then I was saying, boy, that Wonder Bread having fungus and mold in it. It is incredible, EK. It is incredible. These guys have no leg to campaign on. And if truth be told, if they had any conscience, they would even step down and even one new candidate. Because what they are saying to Nigerian people is the same old status quo. Keep the momentum. To go where? To hell? They're not doing anything for Nevis, but trying to feather their own beds. And they need to move on. They need to move on. And CCM people themselves need to say, listen, we can't send you three clones back to St. Kitts. We've had enough of you. You have not delivered what you say you're going to deliver. You have not done anything you say you're going to do. And now that the horse is out the gate, you are locked the gate. This is not going to happen. And I do thank you again in closing for bringing or shining the bright light of scrutiny on the nonsense that these guys are trying to perpetuate on poor Nevis and St. Kitts. Have a blessed morning.
Have a blessed morning yourself, and thank you so much for calling. So, void of the politics again. Let's see where the people stand on this issue. Mark gave you the blueprint as to how to go about amending the Constitution for constitutional reform. Constitutional reform has always been at the basis of all these arguments between political parties, between St. Kitts and Nevis. Fix it. And if the opposition doesn't want to be a part of the conversation, well, then we know how to deal with them when it comes to general election. We don't put them back in the parliament again. We put people there who are going to put the business of the people forward. That is why Unity end up with 9 and Labour only end up with 2. It was through the efforts of PAM, PLP, and CCM that saw 9 members of 3 different parties going into parliament. More than a 2/3 majority. Pull my calculator, because Mark pulled his calculator to work out when it was 7-4, But he ain't want to pull his calculator for 9-2. Wally and the rest of them used to up and down. Anytime you say anything about Unity, what really going on in Unity after 2020, they tell you the score is 9-2. The score is 9-2. They reminded you of that every single damn day, right on the Freedom Wall. Anytime you bring up anything concerning Team Unity after 2020, they tell you the score is 9-2. They used to love to jam you with that. The score is 9-2, hush your ass. The score is 9-2, hush your ass. So let's go to that time period between 2020 and 2022. Let's pretend, not even pretend, because when we were asking questions of Team Unity, we're really going on there with you. When we used to raise matters on Freedom FM about the things that we were observing, you know what the Prime Minister said? I bet I don't tell me the Prime Minister say. And when you hear the things with some big people on Freedom Radio talk, you just troops and lock it off. Foolishness them attack. They want to bring down your Team Unity government. Lord, sorry, I can't find the video now. I'm sorry, I can't find the video now. What do you say, be call me? I'm sorry, I can't find it now. So I could play it for you too, so I could hear what Timothy Harris say about people who called in and were asking questions about Team Unity. I would like you to hear him for yourself. Lord, I had the video line up there somewhere about the place in about I don't remember who sent me the video. You hear? I'm going to find it and I'm going to play it to you. We got time. We ain't got nowhere to go. Because it must be understood that people were asking questions. We saw what was happening. And so now all the things that people were talking about and asking questions to, they now were used as part of their campaign to take down Timothy. Bad Timothy. Bad guy. When we were asking all the time, what going on in there? Oh, keep all your mouth off for our team, good unity government. And now, all right, see somebody send me, thank you. Boy, I love me people. Let me hear they on point. They on point. What you saying? Timothy, what you say?
Themselves.
I'm going to play it to her, you know, I hold on there. Because I think a joke me make. I find the video. This is what they said to us when people were asking questions about all the things that was going on inside Team Unity. You hear? Everything we been a go on. How we ask a question and we couldn't get no decent answer. We get chastised, we get abused, we get word by our we not get.
Fool themselves. Because they can't fool you. You hear some of the things that big people and Freedom Radio utter. You just choose turn off the radio. Foolishness them utter. When you hear some of the crazy things, some of the people want to call in and win and scandalize and undermine European unity government, turn off the radio. Foolishness them utter. And when you hear so much of foolishness, you could come to me here. But I am busy working for this country. I am busy ensuring that I leave Saint and leave it in a better place than I met it. I remember once upon a time I used to go on Freedom Radio. God bless them then. And God bless them now. Hope they make it the light and become a station of truth. And people used to tell me, why you go on the radio the fast? They're not going to use for you. Junior saved the hardest question for you all. Them are trying to embarrass you all. And I say, I'm still going. I'm still going. And then I recognize you all were right culture. So I slack off until I stop. And now it's the same message I got to give that culture used to give me. Stop listening to the nonsense that them attack. Don't get yourself caught up in that mischief. That is a distraction. You focus on all the accomplishments that we have done. In less than 2 years, over 50 of our promises have been.
All right. And the other night, when somebody asked him the question, you know what he said? He's Freedom FM biggest fan. As a matter of fact, Freedom FM been doing better on the Team Unity. You hear? I wonder how the hell he know that. So, Junior, you discuss freedom business with Timothy. We'll wait till I reach work today. I supposed to ask about it yesterday, you know, but wait till I reach work today because you are going to discuss freedom financial businesses with Timothy to let Timothy know that we're doing better under him. Because how else he going to know? I say, well, boy, Timothy is a piece of work.
That's him, yes.
Boy, I telling you. But anyway, this is what we had to endure. whenever you see we had a conversation about anything that was going on in Team Unity, anything at all, right? And if that's what Timothy said, you could imagine what Mark said. You could imagine what Mark said. Again, a call. Hello, good morning, welcome.
EK,
Yes, sir.
by the hand is well full, you know.
Well, fool.
That is well full, you know. Well. Damn it, man. By the amount of things that they used to say, not no garden, not come with that foolishness.
All right.
Okay, when we got problem, we don't got no problem. This is one family. Everything good. Timothy Harris is the best leader.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you trying to do bring down the government all the time? I always come with that negativity, everything good.
All right.
But you can't believe them, you know?
Why people believe them?
Why you can't believe them? I said, why you can't believe that go around the show? Everything good.
Okay then.
Everything got to be a good the show.
Okay then.
But you can't really believe the banner full are we good enough?
How are we good?
But fathers, yeah. But
So now
that's
come.
you.
So now come today. They're trying to convince us that nothing ain't good. But they had
What do you mean nothing good?
two whole
What you mean
campaigns.
everything good?
Two
But the
whole
fish couldn't stay
campaign.
at all.
Oh my God.
That's the best fried fish on the island. Everything good. We're trying to tell me that the fish is spoiled.
Okay. For man in
No,
spoil.
man.
And them say so.
Well.
And them say so. For man in spoil.
Yeah, when you ask the Super Six, the 4 and 6 man them, well, how come this and anything? A Timothy, he any problem? It wasn't me. Me no do nothing. Well, me no do nothing. So what you do? I shake your hand and say yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're not going in there. Me no know. What mean you don't know what going in there? Say you suck up parliament and thing or nothing?
Okay.
Well, but you came out well for it. Sometimes me sit and me think that I say, well. I really eat the garbage for the gear situation.
Of course we eat it. We used to ask them why it is a go on in there. We hear
Not
this
no
scandal.
gone.
We hear this scandal. So nobody can get a gift. Now today he come and tell him about he buy his shoes and he buy he watch.
Yes, fathers,
I tell
yeah.
them
The
what
man no want to talk about no scandal.
Okay.
Them sell this, that, nothing. Nothing you could have get out of them. Everything good. Like it was after the win in 2020.
Why?
They scored 9-2. Game over. I said, what used to say every time, you know?
Yes.
9-2. Game over.
You
But
remember?
bring up.
Okay, good.
9-2. Game over. But you can. Me no listen a couple of clips and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, party start to release some files as a lot, where everything where you can say where to true, you know. Timothy gone and go keep your hands in all of them parliament that the gang dig up that now, you know.
But tell her so.
I say you can do one who says so true, you know.
Tell her so.
I said, lad, I really got to listen. I really got to listen. You can really talk to you know.
Mm.
You can say the man gonna dig up that and all of them 6 days. Don't me hear parties that talk about Skeleton or Delta 9 million or this place, the fuel company in Station annex 12 million or Venezuela this amount of money or this person this amount of money. I said, what do you ask? Where this here come from? I said, but you can wait to show you know, the man that went and dig up his dirt, you know. Now Skeleton broke and what's that and nobody wants to supply them with nothing. And guess who's going to be the savior now? The almighty Timothy Harris now. You're coming from off your cloud now and bail out everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great leader now.
Okay.
Well, but I got to say well planned.
Okay. I tell them they don't know the Timothy and they think a joke kind of make.
You're going to save everything now, you know. And you point out to the people now, you know.
Of
You see,
course.
I have to say Skeleton was in there $30 million. I have to pay off what Sean could not do it in 2 years. He went up the bill. Well.
All right.
But you get trouble now, you know.
Okay then.
That's only one place he got, you know.
Okay then.
Well, lad, when you lift up your shock at trouble now, you know.
Okay. I tell her so. All right, my lad.
Yeah.
Watch. People understand now. People ain't gonna be fooled. And that's what I keep telling them. Change all your argument, because too much of holes in all your argument. Or you should have never let Timothy get the chance to get the upper hand on all you. Or you should have cut him down in a 2020. But you see, it suited all your purpose. I saw you was standing on principle. You in there with the devil. And the devil boss all your ass at every turn. Undermine all you. And I give back the devil there the keys to the kingdom. And now me must jump on all your bandwagon and help all you bring down Timothy. I remember on one program, Mr. Politics, Culture, said that, oh, Ike every day on the way they try to bring down our government. But in a walk, look ya, 9-2. Culture. Who here? No, you know why I hear them like some sheepish dog now a dog upon the Timothy. Cause them the no real palm, you know. Mr. Politics are just blow apart the breeze go. Wherever the breeze blow strong is, that's where Mr. Politics go. And them they used to dominate talk radio. Coming on and talking a bunch of garbage every day. And because I stopped them up, because they were peddling bullshit, they stopped call freedom. Culture say he stopped listening. Well, I wonder what the ass you listen to now. Because they come and tell Awi that PAM, CCM, and PLP were the best thing ever happened to St. Kitts and Nevis. Now Marcus said nothing to Algo so. Now Shana said nothing to Algo so. And that's how it be since 2015. But they still come back in a 2020. Come tell us that it's better than anything we ever had. Now last night here, Mark. The St. Kitts politician them like them like Nevis. You know, so easy to change the constitution. But every time I go parliament, I either introduce a new bill or go amend the bill. And it pass. So what happened to the revenue sharing for Nevis? Where you work on that? 3-4 emails? So you could have traveled around the world and get us visa-free access and make our passport stronger, as you said. So you did the work. You made the passport stronger. But Timothy said, he reformed CBI. When he said that he reformed CBI, you should have said, no, Timothy, you damn lie. And me do the work as foreign minister to make our passport stronger. You ain't do a damn thing. You should have told us that you ain't a feed the cow. But to come now after and tell us that you a feed the cow, how the hell me supposed to believe you? You say you sit down and you take disrespect. What? Who's sitting and take disrespect in a 2020 and 21 and 22? Yeah, the people think it's a Nevis because they take a lot of disrespect from Maya during this COVID thing. Anyway, I want to bring in a good partner who I think they put things into perspective. And here is where people like me and Curtis, right now you see are we happy now? And still sad. Sad to see that a group of politicians fooled an entire country. We were the ones out there pounding the pavement. Every day we in their ass. We are calling, we are do live, we are do this, we are do that. And some people sat back and did nothing. Then I call in. Then I had no credit on the phone. But now, the spoils come home. They're the same ones who want to now come and tell us, no, be quiet. Don't this, don't that, don't that, don't this. We never got no support from them when things were bad. Now things get worse, still no support from them. And they want to come and tell us how to talk and what to talk. And everything that we have been talking for the past 7 years is coming to light. Are we a prophet? A prophet are we be? What you saying? Curtis, good morning.
Good morning, Ike.
How you doing, my lord?
Man, but I'm here enjoying the program, enjoying the whole vibes. Listen to you playing them great tapes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to Mark Brantley last night, Ike. These people be that they could disrespect you. Me ain't disrespect Mark Brantley up to now. But you see, mate, I don't disrespect. But I don't fire back. Because I don't call it disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
I called his show last night. Good evening, Mark Brantley, the normal Ike.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, how come all of a sudden you want NRP to help you with your fear shield? You read something from Cleon and something and something. Martin, people forget the rhetoric, what was coming out of their mouth. What was coming out of the supporter mouth. So if you wait till when the fan hit the roof, NRP was supposed to jump in. Let's be fair to the people then. So I said, Mark, what are you saying? You read something about they invite this. Mark Bradley forget he was at a press conference with all the dignitaries. When Patches Lebert get up and say we got the Douglas Corona. What the hell he say? He sit down there and listen to the insult. The same Mr. Politics and all them used to call the same Mark Shaw, including his supporters, writing up NRP. But yet you must feel when he choose you, you're going to invite us. Well, I never hear Mark telling on the supporters to stop it. Mark think everybody, so he said, then he went, he said, oh, that clown and clown. Well, you know me, Ike. I call back. And I said, Mark, don't forget, you come think it's like the sheriff. You gone back Nevis, Timothy take off all your clothes and give you a skirt and a tongue to wear. But you know what, they're going to say disrespecting Mark. But nobody going to say when he called me a clown, it's disrespectful. When I did not disrespect, good evening, Mark Bradley. Now, Ike, all them tapes where you're playing with Timothy Harris. If people were paying attention, these tape and Timothy them should have never get a next election in 2020. Voted in again. Because he played that tape just after the election, Ike. He said that just after the election. Let's go back. Just after the election, Weeks, Yahoo, and Sam Condor and Douglas Watley had a discussion about the money. When Weeks, Yahoo said, we just fight a 2-year fight with Labour. We come in fighting about money. Because there was questioning the money. And in that same breath, I think is Weeks, Sam put up, not Weeks, Douglas Watley, I want to put up and say, I still got on my phone. Where Sam said, anybody should be the Prime Minister except Timothy Harris. That was in 2000, just after the election in 2015. He came out to save everything. And I keep telling them again, look at this. This is 2022, and I still got the thing screenshot. Because nobody was paying attention. As soon as I start to talk, some people are going to tell you, Cook, you're going over the same thing over and over. Well, Ike, the clown was going over Magadam.
By the same Magadam so much at times, right?
Hold on, Ike. Let's forward 2022. When I was telling me Labour people and them and everybody else, Lindsey Grant went Marriott. You know, some of them will say, Cook, you're going over the same thing over and over, Lindsey Grant and the Marriott. When I start to go back over the issue with the misappropriated the man money, but Patches now is saying, if Mark Bradley will help them pay the money.
Okay.
The same Mark Bradley now ain't going over and over, Nevis facial now, presently. So what that was telling us then. So they fooled, who call and said they fooled them. Me and you was never fooled. Because we was always on top of the game. We was always on top of the game. And if we wasn't on top of the game, EK, it's no way we would have been fooled. If the people were listening and on top of the game, it's no way they would have been fooled. And you know what was interesting last night to EK? That this Mark Brantley is so loyal and bad and think people forget him. You remember in Parliament, he tell us, he even threatened Douglas to retract and talking about going on the clock when Douglas was asking him about the unity concept, what they're coming up with. And what he said to Douglas?
He know nothing about that.
What he said to Douglas? Okay then. He do not know anything about it.
Not a thing.
So how come all of a sudden now, you come in telling the people, lying again, first you tell us the best thing happened to Nevis is Timothy Harris. Now all of a sudden you're telling us Timothy is the worst thing. And we must now vote for Pam. Well, Ike, before we end up going to talk about voting for these guys, we need to assess them. Meaning a discussion about who to vote for. My thing first, let us discuss the last 7 years and give people the idea what happened in the last 7 years. And for me, humble opinion, Ike, not one of them should come back to this nation. Ike, when him get an apology?
Well, I asked for that, and the Palmers, them tell me, bye, they give me some bad word.
Okay, then.
They give me some bad word. Me not understand this, and sometimes when I sit down and I look back and I say, you know what? Maybe it is for the best that Labour lost in 2015. And I tell you, Tessa.
Me too.
I think it was the best thing that Labour lost in 2015. Because sometimes when you peddle a lie enough, people start to believe it, They really did believe in the team unity, And we said to them, this marriage is a marriage of convenience. Timothy disgruntled with Dougie because Dougie no give him prime ministership. Mark disgruntled for all kind of things. Nobody even can tell where he disgruntled over because ever so often he disgruntlement change. Pam just want to be in government. That's all. They not really had no intentions at all of bringing these things. Sean is saying that when they get back in with CCM, they are going to further the good governance agenda. You was in there for 7 years. What do you ask you do with it? Timothy was asked the question, how is good governance? And he said the mere fact that the convention here in St. Kitts proved that good governance will work. But yet still, he could go into their ministries and find all kind of ills, he said, and discrepancies, he said, that he's accusing them of while in public office. So, Timothy, make up your mind. Integrity in public life or work or in our work. Because how is it that you could go into the ministries and find wrongdoing? But what the Integrity Commissioner do? What is their purpose? And how was this allowed to happen? And how come none of them gone jail yet? If people sit down and analyze and watch what is happening here, what they're saying and what's happening in reality ain't making no sense, ain't adding up. They're lying through their teeth, all of them. And who don't want me to talk like this, pay me to hush. I tell you, son, I mean it, Oh, you don't know? Well, what you saying?
When you analyze, and as we've been analyzing the whole operation for the past 7 years of these people, right? Nobody they want the country mash up. Me and you never in the situation where we ever want the country mash up.
No.
Because Ike, you could recall you used to play small axe. I tell you, I never a small axe, man. But I walk the whole of London come up for you till I end up finding you in Birmingham. Me and you was never friends, and nothing like that.
No,
but I think it's people.
That's what we link,
When Mark Brantley, let me say this to the Nevis people, because some people up and down with the foolishness. The Calypso King for Nevis, in him, Hollywood?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, Delhi Ranks could tell you when Mark Brantley sent the contingent to England and they end up in leagues and Mark meet them in leagues. I meet Blackman, they sold us in peace. That is how me and Hollywood and Delhi Ranks them come good. Because I was making sure them man comfortable in England.
Right.
I even went as far as Blackman into cricket. Blackman said he wanted to watch cricket. I said, Blackman, don't worry. I, Curtis Cook, will take you to your first test match. You know me, when I in them places, I like a king. I got the bunch of tickets. I tell who I want to go. And I take them to cricket. While we're in the cricket, Blackman met Darren Goff. And he talking to fast bowlers, telling me from Nevis, the whole works. He said he loved Nevis, because when he was with the England team, he went to Nevis. I'm just saying. So these guys need to stop, put a wedge between people and people. Because if I was against the Nevis and this and that, how far as I said, we're not going to do them fellas, because they're from Nevis. But it's not about Nevis. Or the hear all the time you go Nevis. We can, during the long time when we had the holidays, I carry my kids them Nevis about twice. Rent a car and tell them all out Nevis buy food, go sunshine. The same thing. When my friends them come from foreign, they have to go Nevis. And a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be going Nevis tomorrow with my family over here from Holland. You understand what I'm saying? So we has no animosity. But when you listen to Mark, this guy is so, I don't even know what to say, so crafty and he lie. Mark was on a day, you know, like a couple of weeks ago. He can show you Mark is a strange guy. A fellow called in and said to Mark, Mark, you remember when Douglas tried to mash up the culture, Hammer? Well, he keeping jam session and sink it. Yeah, Mark, oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes. And I said to myself, Mark, it ain't you mouth say, sink it's people mashing up the culture, Hammer? Why are you coming and giving the world the impression that Douglas deliberately keeps something in sink it? Because he don't want us to come to Nevis. But you tell us don't come over. So if you say don't come over, keep out of your Nevis, what do we supposed to do, EK?
Stay in our own country.
And organize your own thing.
Right. Because he was the one who said, Nevis for Nevisions. Nevis for Nevisions. Too much of Senkit nigga participate in Nevis Culturama and winning crowns. Nevis is for Nevisions. They're going to stop it. Me and I'll get stopped because me used to provide sound and, you know, DJing and MC and all this kind of thing. And they said, no, Nevis got MCs where we got to bring he up here. And furthermore, he not like how we need that. So stop he. And they tried it their way. But they could not get the class and the prestige from who was there. Let's call it for what it is. And so the interest wasn't there because what? The Senkis people and they said, well then, since how we can't participate, we're accustomed to participate all the time. A one federation, how we be? Well then, since how we can't come over there then, how we going so? Because they don't seem to understand that we the support and they the support. A lot of divisions that come down here for carnival. Look what he named went in with carnival thing and win it. What he named? What did I mean? Yeah. The company participate in it because it's a St. Kitts and Nevis carnival. But they want to have culture around, but so much I think people come up here. I could come, but I can't take part. Because Nevis for Nevisions. And he says so, and he make them speech there. And the next thing you know, he flip it now and he want to be a part of Team Unity. That's semi-ass. Exactly.
You want to have all this say. Have saying sing it, and we don't have a problem with that, in fairness. But all we're saying, when it comes to sing it and Nevis, you're saying nobody ain't saying that Nevis ain't supposed to get a fair shower. Where were they supposed to get, you know?
No. I want them to get it.
The problem I have with Mark, he proved to me again that who is the clown. Because if I was in Mark's position, just like when I go play cricket, I never got on a cricket field before, I make sure how this game gonna go. Example, you want to understand, EK? If you're gonna play a 20-over cricket match, we're gonna ask the question: if the other team done bat first and they make 25 or 30.
Hold on, Curtis. Hold on, Curtis. We got a call coming.
No problem.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, AK again.
Morning.
AK, you look at it. Hold on 1 minute. Let me find out this. You look at it that in this way. Now you guys have really truly opening people's eyes. Because Nevis can have Nevis thing. But think it must have think it's a Nevis thing. You realize it?
Mm-hmm.
Mark don't want Nevis people to interact. Think it people to interact in anything for Nevis. But yet still, Nevis people can go down and interact in everything that Think it has. Why is this man so selfish? Why is he so selfish? Nevis people, Think it's people keep out of Nevis people's business. But every opportunity he gets, he run down to Think it and getting Think it's people business. And so,
Of course.
Well, I am telling these people, right? This is my opinion. I don't say you guys to along with me. Navies have a NIA, think it's have federal government, think it's Navy. Let's do this. Let's have one election. Don't know where we did 2 elections too, because it's nowhere in the Caribbean. I see that we have 2 elections. You have Antigua and Barbuda. You have St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And they are one. What Navy should do together, if they want to run 2 parties, no problem. But come, put in the candidates. And we could have a prime minister out of Navy. Bring everything. Don't away with the Navy Island administration because it not work. It's totally not working. And it's based of money for the people of Navy. Whoever came up with this idea, well, it was working back then. But it is not really working now. And it cannot work. Because it's just drying the people of Navy. Ever so often, they're always in election mode. Check at it. You just come out of election 2020. And Navy is supposed to have a Navy election. When the people can settle down and say, okay, let's just start to work, come together and work. You can't work when you have the same people running. Because he's running for federal and he's running for local. When is he going to get the time to do the people's business, the people's work in Navy? When is he going to have the time to do the work? Remember Mark said that he have investors out to sea. What the people of Navy needs to do now is to put all Tutman Samad Bagaya them, the whole unity clan, put them out to sea for 7 years. On a raft, without just a little bit of water, no food, because that's what they do to us for 7 years. No food. And let's see, way out to sea, somewhere in the boondock, out there. And let's see who make it back to shore after 7 years without no help. And then whoever make it back, then we'll see how things go. You have a good morning.
All right, have a good morning yourself. Thank you so much for your telephone call. Curtis, you were making a point. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, Ike, they're coming to us 7 years, okay? And you're telling us this, you're telling us that. Ike, nobody against Mark. All we're asking for is honesty. You hear what the lady just tell you? 7 years. Up until today, Mark cannot tell us what went on within the 7 years. And as I was telling you, to do with the cricket. Before going on the field, let's say the team made 25 runs. But I'm going to ask the question, what if rain comes so they make 25 for 1? I know to go back. You mean that I have to make 25 within the same overs, but for no wicket? If I lose 2 wickets, they mean that I lose the game. You understand what I'm saying, Ike?
Mm-hmm.
But here, I can't wait till when the game finish to make an argument how I should win the game, how I should win the game. So before the game toss and we drop the kind, that is why in cricket you must get your 11. Once the umpire them got 11, nothing could change. Now Mark's supposed to be the most brilliant. He's steady here, sit down. Before he said, Tim, watch here, I got 3 seats now. Before we do any signing up any agreement, if we win, let us make sure that we get this thing organized. Nevis need to get 50% of the money or 60% of the money. So that would have been clear across the board, EK. But Mr. Sensible, Mr. Bright, oh yeah, man, Tim, don't worry, Mark, man. We can take care of Nevis, man. Don't worry about that. And the old clown dragged Nevis through that foolishness. And to the people telling me, oh, Mark fighting for Nevis and Nevis fish here. When nobody want Nevis get the money. But Mark must stop lying to Nevis people. Because if he had an idea what going on, and so brilliant and smart mind, as he said, he sit down there and let Timothy make a papi show him. Because that's what they tell him. You say, Mark, the best thing happened to Nevis ever. Mark last night trying to justify. Well, Nevis has Timothy. May not say Timothy do all bad, but Nevis. Mark, I said, Mark, Douglas or Bratcher never fire Nevis politician. Now in history. And you say the best thing happened to Nevis was under Timothy Harris. Now today, you're trying to justify. Look at what Patches doing to Mark Brantley. Listen to Michael Oliver Powell abuse Mark Brantley. And instead, he focused on Nevis people, focus on that. Because this ain't a hearsay of them say, they up and down some of them, oh, Patches said they're going to do this. But they hear Michael Powell, who was kicked out of Pam, abuse Mark, and disrespect Nevis people. The same Mark Brantley, when I tell Mark, Patches libel should have been moved off the airport. You know, Mark, no? Hide the report. That's what the world need to know. Mark Brantley put the report in cabinet and then look back for it, people. You think anyone had any vision? Who say I love Mark could do what Patches do? And get what? Mark was a part of covering up Patches' behavior. Because he was the one in charge of the airport. And he know that Patches breach airport security rules. And I'm going to show you how Mark is very deceitful and bad. He can't remember now to call the program. Because we're talking about the same airport with Patches. And a caller calling. That caller always calling in, talking about Patches and telling him, Mark, you're the minister. Well, I said, Mark, let me ask a question. Can you, Mark Brantley, even though you're in charge of the airport, walk all over the airport as you like? He said, no. I said, Mark, tell the caller that. Mm-hmm. Just like how Timothy cannot drive upon the airport. Well, he could drive upon the airport, cannot jump out the vehicle just so and walk upon the people and plane. Mark knows these things. So Mark know what Patches label did. And I hear Patches down and saying, about he ain't breached the airport security rule. But Patches, why don't stop fool people? But he can I know the airport rules inside out with my eye shut. And when Weber asked Mark Brantley, what did you do with the report? He said he put it in cabinet. Weber asked him, Mark, you didn't follow up? He said no. Because it was all about covering up for the past 7 years what they've been doing, EK. Now we live to see Patches is on the war part. Mm-hmm. He don't know that Mark shouldn't get a double salary. He know how selfish Mark be. He know that Mark money could have given to poor people. But when we was talking about it, he had nothing to say.
Nothing.
All of them is a bunch of clowns need to get out to sink its government. Because I was crying every week to Mark. I went as far as he used to have Mark about my ID. Some people cook you going over the same thing all the time. What Mark going over today? What Patches going over today? Not one of them you hear them talking about Willie Citizen who happened to us during the COVID for the last years. Mark now coming talking about Mark and Mark and Mark and Mark. Which one of them did arguing about with money? He again with Mark. Mark Brantley, wife, is from where? Some about in the Windward Island. May knock in the foreigners. But I want our people to pay attention. Because I just said I put things into perspective, you know.
Indeed.
Right? Listen to me. He can have friends all over the world. And I love people. But when they listen to foolishness, and then they're trying to pull wool over my face, well, he came out, Brantley wife ain't from Nevis. Vance Amry wife wasn't from Nevis. And I could recall Mark was there when Timothy Harris get up and say that lawyer Anthony Bangwater come here. Instead of Mark say he love his wife and he's so much into his wife, get up and say, Mark, what you saying? My brother, you are insulting my wife because she's not from Nevis. Mark sit down there and said nothing. When Timothy Harris said Sidney Walwyn must go back with the foreign accent, Mark put on his Facebook page that Sidney Walwyn was responsible for crime in Nevis. I got it still. He made a statement on Freedom FM, if you could recall that, EK.
Yes, of course.
On Freedom, Sidney Walwyn must go back with the foreign accent. Sidney Walwyn from in the village. Mark ain't said a word. Mark went on to say that C.G. Waldron was responsible for the crime in Nevis. Mark said he did not want to sink its army in Nevis. And Douglas was the prime minister at the time. I thought it was Douglas decide who go where and what. These are the kind of disrespect Mark Brantley was knitting out on people. But today, he want NRP to be a part of. Where was you, Mark, to stand up for your wife? Where was you to stand up with Van's Army and Van's Army wife to defend the foreigners? When Timothy Harris said to us, EK, that people in this place here is foreigners. Dr. Drew come from Cuba with the Cuban philosophy to take over our country. Where EK where Dr. Drew from? Where Nubian from today? He come on the radio the other day, did same thing, and telling us that how he making sure that the foreigners them comfortable with the work permit and everything else. He can't make a problem with that. I will not knock the foreigners. But he came from here. Why you not making sure that I'm comfortable? Why you not making sure that all the TDC workers comfortable? Instead, you're making me life a living hell. He can't nobody knocking the foreigners. As I say again, but we must hold the politician 1,000% accountable for what they said then. Because when Douglas was in, everybody was holding him accountable, and that was good.
Yep. Every day you used to hear Hong say, he bad from he born, and he this and he that, and wait. Okay.
Exactly. But today, Hongs can call in and say, Patches Liable, who said he understands suicide bombers. Let me say that that was his words. Hongs can call in and say, Patches Liable in the park as a minister, give a partner some bad word. Nobody want to discuss that. Nobody want to discuss that Lindsey Grant rack up some police. But they want to discuss, and well, listen now, let me remember now. But they want to make the biggest discussion about 3 citizens who ain't got no police record, who ain't accused of thief in nothing. You send the whole force. Well, let me say this morning to Brandy. Mr. Brandy, Hillwife Brandy, when Lindsey Grant rat up the police and the police on your phone asking for backup, you yourself ain't in shop. You ain't said not a police with a gun. And how long it take before he talk, EK?
By weeks.
Okay.
Weeks. We couldn't get a comment.
We were protesting this Sunday. Hillwife Brandy got put in the news that we went low to be protesting outside the church. Hillwife Brandy, you know your place. Hillwife Brandy, you need to recheck that. Go and look at the video. Hillwife Brandy. Stop let Timothy have you like a puppy show in this country. Use the commissioner of police, act like the commissioner of police. Because you sit down there and let a police officer remove who was going to investigate Lindsey Grant and John L. Powell. And you did nothing. So when you're going to come and try to belittle us, you yourself need to resign. Because you have the moral of the police force law. Because when the police came over there, they wanted to know what's going on here. They could have swear that was 60-something people and the church was being disturbed. EK, the pastor knocked me in my chest. When the fellow, Derek, said to him, we're not here to disturb your church. The pastor said to me, nobody could disturb this church once I have somebody like you here, Curtis. That was the pastor word, EK. We had absolutely nothing to do with disturbing the church. So when Sylvanian come and talk about it's against law to disturb church, Sylvanian was against the law in 1967 when Michael Powell carried full of guns.
Hold a second there, Curtis. We got a call.
Greetings, my lord.
Good morning. Welcome.
Greetings. See, I have a question.
Sure.
How important is education?
It's of utmost importance. That is what shapes a human being.
But yet, our education system is not even good. The laptops get taken away, but the cancer get $71 million. So, may could understand the difference in that.
Well, let me break it down to you. Right? Politicians do things most of the time to get a kickback. Right? When you spend $2-3 million on some laptops for people in Niagara, no kickback in that. You understand? But if you allocate $41 million for a program, well, $71 million for a program that is not properly transparent and easily accessible to the general public to assess, well, then it leaves room for corruption, mismanagement, and for kickbacks. Whenever you find that politicians are focused on one set of things and pumping money into one set of things, it's for kickbacks. Yeah? Kickbacks. No kickbacks in education, no kickbacks in healthcare. You understand?
So because there is no kickbacks in those areas, you can't give them a system. So you can't tell me the politicians are only based on money events that can basically make money for them and themselves and the family.
All right.
All right, then. I continue listening.
All right, man. Yeah, Curtis, you're up.
Yes, I was saying, Ike, when Hillary Brandy will make a statement first thing Monday morning, he ain't trying to contact nobody. He ain't trying to contact none of us. He ain't do his due diligence. He ain't do investigation to see if he see a video, to see the reaction. He just banging his stupid mouth. That we was low to go by the church. And these are the people. Hillary Brandy, you are the one got the mouth of the police force gone down to the dogs. Because you are police, Ike. The police come say, they get a call. Well, Ike, if you get a call, investigate the call. What exactly happening? You ain't ask nothing. You get a phone call as the police. What the first thing you're supposed to do, Ike?
You come and you investigate. You come and you need to write a report. What happened, what took place, and you interview the parties involved, and you get assessment of what is happening. But this is the problem. This is the problem that I have with our police force. And because I speak like this, they're victimizing me. Right? You show up at a function. We don't go to functions all the time. And we don't watch the behavior of the crowd, and we could tell when something going to break out because we on the stage and we could see. Well, you want to tell me we're paying police to be in our functions. And we, the entertainers, we, the people and the patrons, have to observe what is going on and stop it and quell it before the police gets there. And that is their job. They're observing skill out the door. Their ability to diffuse situations out the door because they just don't know how. And so when they show up over there and they go on with that kind of thing, it's because they lack training. Plain and simple. We have a call. Hold on there. Caller, you're on. Thanks for calling. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're on. Go ahead.
Okay, my last point for the day. Sean Richards is the minister for electricity. Tell it. Don't they do audits?
They do.
Don't they do audit report? So he never bring none of the audit report to the cabinet in the 2 years he was in government. He was there. You said let's be real. And so we are talking. The prime minister say he overlooking these things. So we got to be real. Because if you want to tell me that they owe Skellig so much money, there was never a report brought to Parliament or cabinet in the 2 years. Never a report. They don't have audit reports.
So who fooling who?
So the Prime Minister never seen none of these.
Okay.
So what's the question to me made white? He can mean away no college and I say it again. I did not go to no college.
But me glad me no went, you know. Because look how you went college I be here. Me glad me no went.
But me got street sense. And me got basic common sense. But you can't tell that to a foolish man. You can't tell that to me because even a foolish man could see. Even a blind man could see. A dumb man could understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're telling us, all these persons, Skillet. All these persons, Skillet. None of them, ever, the ministers, the 6 ministers you turn away, none of them ever brought nothing to cabinet. The report. They have to bring the report. And how all of a sudden now, solid waste is a statutory body. Ministers never get involved in solid waste business. They always get the reports. That's based on they send somebody to the meeting. All of a sudden now, they want so much to dip their hand in the money. It's all about the money, you know. Follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
Follow where the money is. Because solid waste have money. And they dip the hand and dip the hand and dip the hand in that money. Till none there. Anything they touch, gone, vanished. They muck up the whole country. People of St. Kitts Nevis, wake up. We head into a country like maybe Haiti, where we can't even look after our own people. We are better than this. We're truly better than this. We're not supposed to allow them bunch of vagabonds to fool us all the time. They have nothing to offer us. 7 years we give them. They say, give us a chance. Because Dougie was the worst thing ever to happen. Remember they say 5 more than 20. Well, now 7 is more than 20. If they could count it that way. And we give them 7 years to prove themselves. So how much more they want? They want the 20? To do what? To put us out there to see? To eaten by the sharks? People are thinking, please wake up. Wake up. The guy, wake up. Do the right thing this time around. Vote right. Do the right thing. Don't vote on emotions. Don't vote on sweet talk. Because if Labour gets in there, and I'm saying it, if they get in there and they do wrong, me, this woman here, God forbid, come tell them they're wrong. Because when Dougie was in there, and when he do wrong, I was saying he was wrong. Because he had a minister there too. Never used to do what is what we were telling him also about the one that is now Prime Minister. He never used to listen. So what he get, he should take now. We know the sorry for them because tell it like it is. Because people was warning him and he wasn't listening. So you need to listen. Dr. Joe, listen. Because the people are going to tell you. And we're going to tell you like it is. Because we don't hear what the school children say. And school children are always wrong. And when they tell you something is right, investigate it. Now do like them, yeah. We say they're going to investigate. Because we're still investigating the stem cells. We're still investigating the, what is the thing with all of them? How much thing we investigate? Grant and everybody else. How much more? Where's the investigation ain't done yet? None of them, we cannot get a proper report as to all these investigations. Who's doing the investigation? The law? My people. Take my simple foolish advice. When election day is called, and I'm asking the Prime Minister to get the country settled back down. It's high time now. The country needs to get settled back down in a stable. We just come out of the pandemic. Let the country say, please to call the election. Let us get back to business. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you.
And yes,
Yeah, you can.
I thank him.
Hold on a second, Curtis.
I thank Sean for recognizing what I did for Pam. But I cannot ignore his bad leadership, the People's Action Movement. That's my issue with Pam. It is not with you, the members and friends. It's with your leadership. How could Sean lead the country when he cannot lead his party? Look at what Sean did with Skellig. no matter what false figures they leak to the public and saying that this corporation or that corporation owed is owing money. Nonsense. How could the SCASPA, for example, owe Skellig 12 or $17 million? What has happened? When SCASPA was amalgamated in 1993, when the airport, beg your pardon, was amalgamated with the seaport to form SCASPA in 1993, there was some outstanding amounts stated coming from SKED, that is St. Kitts Electricity Department. Remember, the airport came under the Ministry of Communications. And yes, if you vest the assets into the corporation, of course you must vest the liabilities. Nothing was wrong with that. But nobody ever confirmed that SKED or the airport, the RLB airport, it was called then, owed any monies. How could you owe $12 million or $7 million when there was a solar farm functioning for years that fed into the Skellig grid? When Skellig was incorporated in 2011, there was no money owed to Skellig. So why not? You're going to come and say now that Skellig owing you money. But look at what he did to Skellig. No matter what false figures they leak in the public, and you realize everybody leaking now, everybody leaking everything. Interesting. It is a fact, though, that Skellig cannot pay its bills and have no money to pay its staff, which Sean increased by almost 100 new workers when he took responsibility of that company since he took over in 2020. One example, he built an ark for Noah, his friend. Remember Noah built an ark? But he built an ark for Noah, who Donald fired as the carnival chairman in 2020. The ark he built for Noah is costing Skellig up to today $10,000 per month for what he calls some consultancy or some kind of training consultancy. He said he wanted to help his friend Noah. In 1 year, they plundered the resources of Skellig, mismanaged its reserve fund, and in just over 12 months, reduced its reserve fund from $31 million to under $1 million. Now, just in case some don't understand, the reserve fund is the savings or a liquid asset that Skellig had put aside to cover unexpected costs or future financial obligations. For instance, remember some time ago, recently, that a fire broke out in the generation plant. So where you get money from now if it happens again, God forbid?
Wow. I remember, Curtis, when this whole $31 million came up in the conversations, what did all of them say with regard to this 31 million?
Everything was fake news, man.
I won't tell you what they say. Not a damn thing. We were asking questions and they say nothing. But now all of them followed. Here Patches now could come and give you the rundown of what's going on in Skillet. When we look at Skilek and we say, we may ask, that they turn to SPLEC because everybody from Sunny Point go work in there. So will all these work just come available just so? And they say, oh, you grudge people because look this and look this and look that. Oh, keep your mouth up. And now here come a say that Sean depleted Skilek and Skilek reserve. We asked the question back then and we couldn't get no answer. No, he was talking about the solar plant feeding into, what was the airport, the RLB?
Yeah, well,
a contractor just messaged me and said solar farm was never supplying power to anywhere. So who we supposed to believe in this country? Now come to the fallout and now you can hear about all the dirty things them what go on in the country. I tell people, right, I want Timothy draw out this thing right down until August so that we could get every last piece of information. Every last dirty piece of dealing that all of them were complicit in for the past 7 years with our money, with our government, with our people. I want it come out. It might be embarrassing for some, and some might not agree with my position now, but I want everything come out. You know why? I want vindication for myself. I want vindication for the people like you, Curtis, who's always been questioning the things that go on in our government. I want vindication for Dr. Douglas. He might not want to himself, but I want it to him. Because all the things that they accused him of, they ain't confirm not one. And now, all of them went in there. Some ain't had no experience in government. Timothy is saying that he used to hold their hand and teach them how to do it because he was in government for 18 years. The same 18 years that he tried to deny. The same 18 years now that Mark now come and refer to. Where Mark, when Douglas fired Timothy, you take him up, dust him off, dress him in white, carry him round, promote him as the leader. Imagine he get fired from a party that he couldn't lead. But you take him up, dust him off, turn him into a brand new shiny coin, and present him to the people saying it's a Nevis. You understand? And now, you exalt him to that power, and he show you he true metal, and turn on and bust in your ass. You now come back to the people saying it's a Nevis, and say, and we is he. And he say, oh, really? Well, let's take a look at what was going on in your ministries with the people's money. And that ain't even a point for he as the leader, because you as the leader are supposed to always know what's going on in your household. You as the leader, you as the finance minister supposed to always know what's going on with the finances of the country in all of these statutory bodies. They're supposed to present a report to you in cabinet so that you could know what's going on with the finances. But you keep coming to us and telling us, oh, the country doing well. All the ministers are running their ministries well. Well, everything is well. Well, how much? It's well. We are doing better than most. Well, Timothy, what the price be? What the money be? We are doing better than most. All of them sit down and pass, wish safe passage to the budget. So you want to tell me Timothy now know that Skilek in problems? You want to tell me that Timothy now know Skasper in problems? And they want me now to come and pick sides. I must join with Timothy to abuse Pam and CCM. And I must join with CCM and Pam to abuse Timothy. Well, I'm going to talk. Who don't want me to talk, pay me to hush. Bring all your money and come. Let me go take a nice vacation and make up for the 2 years that all 9 of you were responsible for putting people out of work. Dr. Drew is a trained doctor, virologist. Wayne had a virologist on the task force team, person who deal with viruses. They pick who they want. He said yesterday on Freedom Radio, the world is moving on. The world is moving on. We're going to have to live with COVID. The World Health Organization says so. But Timothy is quoted on his show, The Point, saying that if the time comes and he have to protect the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, he gonna do it again. Disenfranchising the voters who reside here. I tell her, I don't know the team, you know. When we questioned everything that they were doing during the pandemic, they say, Ike, hush your dirty black ass. How dare you question doctors who have been saving lives? When me don't save lives. Every single day me buck up and somebody will tell me about Ike, I was depressed and down and out, you know. I was ready to give up, you know. And life and my children and everything. And wherever they ask yourself on the radio, it snapped me out tight and it saved me life. So just like how the doctor saved life, me save damn well life too.
That's what we do, Ike. We uplift people
every single day.
I mean, as simple as you see me going here, Ike, for the past years, I got pictures of almost all the old people in the community.
Okay.
And how much of the young people don't come and talk.
All right.
Me don't let me one hand, Ike. Julian Archibald is the national goalkeeper. He played football in my yard as a little boy. Okay. Shanico Lands, who came in St. Kitts, all of them, they come up to Curtis Cook in my house as small. So what we saying? They didn't want to hear nothing from me and you, Ike. Mm. Remember that. Mm-hmm. All we was doing is asking genuine
questions. And they could not answer.
Ike, I keep saying over and over, the lady from Sandy Point, when I got up in the meeting and I asked the question when Charles Wilkins said, if you drop down now, who's going to look after your child? She went and took the vaccine. I realized I wasn't seeing her. The other she called, she said, Cook, I am the victim of the question you asked in the meeting. I got blood clot in my lungs. And someday she says it's good, and someday she ain't good. The woman used to drive. She was very independent for she own self. She's now half and half. Where's the doctors? Where's the ministers to be looking after the woman? Go up the hospital someday, they'll go visit Gwen. 3 ladies on the other side with blood clot. The woman tell us, when I'm turning off the man say, Curtis, I look over, I say, hello. Say, yeah, remember me? I was working when you bring the machine. Blood clot. And all of a sudden now, nobody talk about the people with the COVID. Nobody talk about the people who take the COVID with the vaccine. That done. That done. Mark ain't fighting for that. Nobody fighting for that. But when we was talking about it, when I put myself on the front line to tell TDC, why you got to deliver the thing in people's place? How you going to tell me we sit outside? I said, that is wrong. Me had no vaccine, Ike. I was willing to do the work and to help my people. So I put myself on the front line because I understand, Ike. When a lady in TDC, a Saturday afternoon, I drop off a stove in Sadler's, Ike. When I come home in the night, my kids them with me, you know, we go a weekend, my phone ring. The woman said, Cook, mister, having some problem with the stove. I said, miss, give me a minute, let me look after my children. I will check you. Because I realized she had about 2 or 3 little children there in the house. And I woke up, I don't know, she's told to cook wherever tonight, and she's going to need it Sunday. He can jump on the scooter, and I went to Sadler's.
Sadler's, eh?
And help the lady connect up the stove. I can't tell you what the lady name. I can't tell you how she look if I see her again. All I know, I tell you, I see 3 children was in the place, in she house. She live when you go and do it by Warren Bradshaw. I jump on the scooter. I said, let me start my children them, and I'm going to come. Did you see any of this? I don't work. I could tell the lady, watch you, miss. Me don't work, you know. He can know. I jump on the bike, and I went to Sadler's. Because in my mind, I see somebody need assistant. Me not ask you no money. If I see the woman today, I can't tell you how she look. I remember where she lived. I didn't care who the woman was. I just thought I want to help. And look at the situation where we're in today. Cook does not have a job because he ain't take a vaccine. Nobody remember the Michael Morton who could remember when I was over Figgy Bay. At 2 hours, lock up the key in the car when I had my motorbike. I jump on the bike this Sunday and I come down looking for whoever. And in a meeting, Michael Morton was talking about going the extra mile. I was the one he used.
Imagine you got the extra mile for these companies and they turn on and they fire you.
Ike, listen this one. Scott Kane's wife. I went to deliver a big fridge on Saturday. You know them fridges got to hook up with water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you, well, Miss, I don't know when the technician gonna come. And the woman was very upset, Ike. But you know me now move. I carry the stove up the fridge upstairs, pull out the one, sweep up, do what I got to do. And she was getting on bad. Ike may budge. I map out, I sweep out. When I done, she said, Mister, it's people like you TDC need for customer service. Because she expect a reaction. The hire as a consultant, and she talked about what happened with Meji. And the company cannot say, hold on here, man. Curtis Cook and Donnie Rollins and Ben Brown's son and Van and all of the people, Gwen and all the lot of us was the most experienced workers and work hard. They followed him when he take the mic and what he say. And then come on the radio this week, come tell people he gain a 10% increase. And when the person asks him, why you don't ask the private sector to give a 10%? He can't do that. But he could have tell the company to make sure people vaccine. But Tim, why you so wicked? People understand what's going on?
Ah, boy.
He went on to say, he's going to make sure the same people he said, Bangwater come here. He's going to make sure that the work permit and everything is up to date. With Tim, where the hell I come from? A Bangwater come here? When they want the Chinese man to be extradited, Tim say he got to sink his passport and he must be treated like a citizen. But Tim, what the hell? The TDC workers is not citizen. Donnie Rollins is not a citizen. Wicked Tim. Man asking you for no favor. So man gonna talk nice. I deserve to be treated nice. So nobody tell me, but that's why Tim ain't studying with you. He ain't studying with me? Okay. But one day, he gonna study me. Because Sean never believed they would get on with. Lindsey Grant never believed he would get on with. Mark never believed he would get on with. Look at us in the same boat. Timothy can't be the Prime Minister for all his life. He's not going to rule this country all his life. So they must remember, when you're treating people bad, all what you do going to fall on you one day. Because nobody believed he would have been in this position today. Nobody believed him would be gasping for ear, for your political career.
Oh, boy.
The way they used to move and get on. Look at Sean, we talk. You and I used to say, Sean is my partner. Me say the same about John, me and you good. And you want to tell me, none of them stand up and say, oh no, EK and Curtis Cook, you crazy? Regardless of what, this man is the man who helping the country, who doing whatever they can. EK Friday afternoon on the airport, a Saturday, no Friday, they was doing the whole front of the airport. The guys, them leave up all these scaffolds. So, when you're coming up to go on the plane, you got to go through the doors, them. Mm-hmm. So, they leave up the scaffold, them, to come back Monday. So, I said, boy, how this man going to leave up these scaffolds? How the tourists are going to be walking on in this? It's dangerous. The man, them don't turn off. I went and I tell the panel, the manager for the airport. I said, big man, watch here. Remember, we got the big flight on Saturday. These man can't leave up these things here. So, he called back the man, and the man, them take down the scaffold. America was second to none. But the politician was all about themselves. Going after EK. Go after EK. Go after Curtis. And who they're supposed to go after, they're paying them big money. Who they're supposed to be going after and trying to organize, you're paying them easy. But me and EK and all the other hard workers who in this country, who have done so much for the country, with not paying nothing at all, because we ain't looking for nothing. All we want to make sure that we people happy. That's all I care about EK. I used to go every afternoon. Some of the other is Steve using me. But every afternoon you're going about your business and leave your phone. I said, Steve, afternoon time is my time when I go check my old people in the community. I got all the videos with all of them who pass on and some who still around. You don't ask nobody for it to say, hey, this and that, I got to do EK. How much years now we doing this party? You hear me talking about this party they do in the community. My son 17.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of years, man.
My son 17, and he gets so big now that we decide we don't do beach. Big banana to help us and carry us.
Yep.
Me never go around and boast, but me do this, me do that. Me don't go about my business as normal. But if I could help EK, look at the other way we were doing the food drive. You said, yes, cook and hard is working together. Even the hardest work, they left it to this dark thing. May hold it personal against him.
Right.
Me and Sakuti had it out. Me and Sakuti the talk. May hold it personal against him. But don't cross me because I'm going to defend myself. You see the day, you never believe that Cook and Sakuti would have been working together. I mean, what you name? Hardest.
Hardest. I nobody call them man name permission, buddy.
You say it. Because it's all about what? At the end of the day, we are from St. Kitts. And the politician must understand that. Nobody gonna have no hatred for people. But if you cross me, I'm gonna defend myself.
Indeed.
You the same with EK. People say, I'm the one. We used to be, I used to so amazed about Douglas. Big Lois on the stage, and Douglas just smile. Everybody view, Terry views Douglas, everybody, and Douglas just cool. Maybe he need hard, but he will show you. But I mean like that. Sam said last night, when he go resign, Douglas called him and said, Sam, let us resolve this thing. That's how he be. He got the ways of everybody else. Everybody got their ways. And he got areas where he might have messed up. And that is the facts. But we never see a leader like this before. And Mark tell us that Timothy is the best thing lead this country. All of us talk forget about Simmons. Yeah. Check what's going on. The man is saying Timothy and Mark and Simmons. Let's say, as they say, they're trying to convince us now, Pam and CCM. But when they're talking, they're not saying Timothy and Simmons. Even if you don't want to call Douglas' name. They don't even call Simmons' name. Timothy was the best thing to lead this country in history, and Timothy this, and Timothy that. And all of a sudden, you're telling us Timothy is the biggest dog around them. You get what we must do. Who should we believe? Cook, stop calling Timothy Harris a big stone. No Patch is calling the six of them a vagabond. Really? Where we going, EK? People, let us wake up. Let us wake up. Our future and our children's future is in our hands. And as the lady said, the Labour Party can't do the same thing. They got to listen. Listen to the man on the ground. Listen to EK. Listen to everybody. We want the best for St. Kitts EK. We asking for the best. We just got to wake up.
All right. Well, Curtis, I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning here for the little short time. We got to close it down for today, but hopefully on another edition we could have you back for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit to get to you.
But now you see how to do it. It's easy. It's easy.
No, what happened? I was using my son gadget. You know, we go.
Right.
So, yeah, but that's how we go still. But yeah, and it's a pleasure having me to EK. You know, anytime you're calling me,
definitely.
I'm available.
Definitely.
So that's how I stay. Wherever you need and I could help. You know me. That's how I live. You know, once I could help the nation, because everything is about the country. It's about the people. EK, me love people, me love me people. But now you don't see how I stay when it comes to people.
Of course, definitely.
As my mother, they say, cook, stop, give anything them. Me as a give it. Me as a share. That's just my nature.
All right, my lad.
It's all about my people. I love my country, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. And let me make it clear to the EK. All your people who live in Mount Strat and outside the St. Kitts who has nothing to do with us, nobody tell me that I'm going to abuse Tim. I will defend Tim on that ground. Let we in St. Kitts deal with Tim. I'm not going to go down and do it with them other people. St. Kitts people deal with Tim. You stay out. My brother, thanks again for having me, and I appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a great day. All right, so that was Curtis Crook. And of course, we do appreciate all the callers, everybody who chimed in today. Those of you who posted on the page there, be sure to share it. If somebody didn't get to view it live, they can go back and always view it. It will always be there. And even if you don't agree with some of the positions that I put forward and you want to have a discussion, yeah, we can definitely do that. I welcome you. Once you're respectable and once you come with your points of rebuttal, it is always open for debate. It doesn't matter who you are, right? Just call in. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. Because like somebody said to me, boy, Ike, you're on every talk show. You're this, you're that. You really want to see your country better. Of course. And this is what we should strive to do. Timothy Harris said it himself, that he wants to leave his country in a better position than he met it. Well, you judge for yourself if St. Kitts is in a better place than when Timothy took it over to now. Whenever you see you have political fallouts, that's when you're going to find out all the juicy details of what went on inside government. People welcome it. There are some people who don't care what their politicians do, what their politicians say, they're going to support them regardless. Labour people like that, PAM people like that, CCM people like that, NRP people like that. And now PLP people come just the same way. Is we, the supporters, have to hold these candidates and these parties accountable. And if we don't begin to change our mentality, they're going to continue to give us this mediocrity that they've been giving us for the past 30-something years of independence. I ain't patting the politician and he back for paving a damn road. That is automatic. Give me something new and innovative. Build new roadways. You understand what I'm telling you? Make a change in something that is already like mock up and you fix it. That's what I'm going to pat you on your back for. Not to go in there, go continue to work with automatic paving roads and fixing schools and all this kind of thing. I'm going to pat you on your back for that. Build a new school. Reform the education curriculum so that we output more students and people that are better suited to take on this world of work. Because when we get out here and we start to adulting ain't as easy as some people have it, you know. If we did learn these things here from earlier on, some of us would be better equipped to deal with the world that we find ourselves living in. But that's a conversation for another show. Folks, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to get myself ready now. I got a call while I was doing this show to come and host issues for today. And we should be having members from the NRP on Freedom this afternoon. So I look forward to that conversation. And you can bet your sweet life I'm going to ask NRP some questions. Because anybody who wants to vie for leadership of our federation, be it St. Kitts or Nevis, they got to come good. And they got to be serious. So tune in this afternoon. Goodbye for now.